Tonight, the NDP questions the province over the Richmound situation. A human trafficking trial continues in Rosetown, and creating accessible playgrounds at Saskatchewan schools.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. The Saskatchewan NDP wants to know if there's anything the province could have done to resolve the occupation of a former school in Richmound by a fringe group faster. Sierra D'Souza Butts has more on what the NDP is calling for and how the government is responding.
After the leader of the self-proclaimed Kingdom of Canada group was released from police custody, the Saskatchewan NDP is questioning the length of time it took to remove the group who resided at a former school in Richmond.
This is someone who threatened to kill public officials and terrorized an entire community for 2 years.
The NDP says families did not feel safe in their homes and deserve answers and accountability from the government of Saskatchewan, requesting for a major multi-agency review to be done.
With this multiple ministry review, looking at why the Ministry of Justice, why the SHA, why Municipal Affairs, and so many other agencies weren't willing to take action and step in and put an end to this sooner rather than later.
On Monday, Saskatchewan's Minister of Corrections, Policing and Public Safety, Tim McLeod, says it was monitoring the situation carefully and received letters of concerns from residents in Richmond, allowing police to respond when suitable.
As the minister responsible, I don't direct policing. We certainly oversee it and make sure that communities have the policing that they need. And in this case, the RCMP were very engaged, very watchful of the situation, and when the time was appropriate, they acted.
In a statement to CTV News, the ministry added, political interference in policing operations should be unequivocally condemned, and the NDP's unrestrained instinct to interfere in independent police matters is not only lost and reckless, it's particularly shocking. Meanwhile, in Swift Current, the owner of the former school, Ricky Mans, was released from police custody under conditions until his trial date. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
The human trafficking trial of Sohail Haider and Mohammed Moussam resumed today in Rosetown, and as Hallie Mandrick tells us, one of the men accused in this case took the stand again.
The trial of Sohail Haider and Mohammed Moussam continued on Tuesday with Haider's testimony regarding his interactions with a woman who is an alleged victim of human trafficking. Moussam and Haider each face a count of human trafficking, with Haider facing one additional charge of sexual assault. The woman, whose name is protected under a publication ban, claims she had wages and personal documents taken from her while she was forced to live in an unkempt basement. According to Haider's testimony, after moving to Canada from Bangladesh for work, the woman resided in Gull Lake and Tisdale, living with Moussam while waiting for her work permits. Upon receiving permits to work at Haider's diner in Elrose, the woman continued to postpone moving from Tisdale. Haider told the court that the woman was visibly upset when she arrived at the house in Elrose, which Haider and his wife had for their employees to live in. He said the woman was, quote, angry, screaming, and crying, but she did not say why. After 2 days of working at the diner, the woman called in sick, and another employee living at the house informed Haider that the woman was no longer there. Haider testified to contacting RCMP to report a missing person. The trial is set to resume on Thursday with Haider's cross-examination, and Moussam is also expected to testify before the end of trial. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Rosetown.
Healthcare workers represented by QP54 held a rally in Yorkton today. The gathering started in City Centre Park shortly after noon. Healthcare workers marched to Yorkton MLA's David Chan's office on 5th Avenue. Participants say they feel underpaid and undervalued, and the goal of today's rally was to send a message to the government.
Others support us, fund us, give the funding, keep the funding in the province, and start, they can do incentives like nurses' aides maybe wanting to go back to school, fund that. LPNs maybe wanting to go back for their RN, fund that. Fund retirees to come back and get them hired.
She could probably recite
The healthcare workers involved in the rally said that they're not going to give up, even if it means having to strike in the future. The province celebrating the launch of a new program at the University of Saskatchewan to train physician assistants. 20 students out of 340 applicants were accepted to be the first group of the Master Physician's Assistants Studies program. Physician assistants work in primary and long-term care, as well as emergency medicine, cancer care, general internal medicine, and surgical specialties. They can conduct patient exams, prescribe medications, along with ordering and interpreting tests. The province committed $7 million to launch the two-year program in hopes of easing the pressures on the healthcare system.
This time, because the AMPAS program has a focus on practicing rural, and that's something that really interests me. That's why this program was extremely important to me. I see so many patients. Like, I have a background as a cardiovascular technologist here on campus at RUH, and I see that there's a need in rural communities. So this program in particular was super important, that it has an emphasis on the rural aspect.
In 2023, the province introduced legislation to allow physician assistants to practice in Saskatchewan. 4 are practicing right now in Saskatoon, Regina, and Meadow Lake. The province has upgraded one of its air ambulances to better serve patients with complex and urgent medical needs. The King Air B200 has a large entry door, a bigger stretcher, and an electronic lift. The province says the improvements to the medically equipped airplanes make it safer and easier for emergency workers to move patients on and off the aircraft. The goal is also to improve care and access to health services, particularly for patients in northern and rural areas.
We always are working with our partners in the Saskatchewan Health Authority to make sure that we're providing the best service we can to the residents of Saskatchewan. And as our population grows older and changes, we have to have different equipment to make sure that we can carry everybody with the care and dignity that they need.
Saskatchewan has 4 air ambulances that run 24 hours a day, transferring about 1,500 patients per year. A major expansion in potash production has been announced for the K+S mine near Bethune. The company plans to spend close to $3 billion over the next 15 years to double the output at the mine. Wayne Mantika has more.
A sod turning was held at the K+S potash mine as construction crews worked in the background. It's the first phase of a major expansion.
I always say the evidence is behind you. We're here in the province. We're committed to growing in this province, and we're really putting that into action today.
The first phase of the expansion will increase production output by about 35% to 2.2 million tons per year. The company, which is headquartered in Germany, is confident in the future of the potash market.
We are seeing a strong potash market, so demand is slightly higher than production, which is always good, so prices are stable.
No dollar value was provided for this phase of the expansion, but the company will spend close to $3 billion over the next 2 decades. 500 construction workers will be involved in this first phase, followed by creation of 50 permanent jobs at the K+S mine site near Bethune. For the government, increased output means more royalties.
Yes, it won't be into production for a while yet, but that means once it is, the amount of royalties that will contribute to the economic progress of Saskatchewan and the people.
The announcement is part of a 20-year expansion plan for the K+S potash mine. When completed, production will be more than double its current level. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, near Bethune.
Okay, Sabine joins us for our first look at weather and above seasonal temperatures today.
Yeah, we were nearing 30 degrees in some parts of southern Saskatchewan, Lee, and that will continue as we head into tomorrow, actually getting warmer than even today. So warmer temperatures. However, as we get into the end of this week, we're going to start to see more rain arrive and could see quite a bit in the southeast by about Friday afternoon. And I'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. But as far as what we saw today, it was mostly clear conditions, not a whole lot when it comes comes to even high winds. We do have a little bit of air quality statement issued for northern Saskatchewan, just around the Buffalo Narrows area. Other than that, though, we've seen temperatures well above seasonal. Even right now, current temperatures still sitting in the mid to high 20s. A little cooler up in Stony Rapids, but the average temperature for this time of year usually is about 20 degrees. Regina warmed up to 27 today, late this afternoon. Nowhere near last year's high or even the record high, but we will be nearing 30 degrees in parts of southern Saskatchewan as we head into tomorrow. I'll have those details in your forecast coming up. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. For every young student, it's one of the highlights of school, spending time with their friends on the playground. Well, today, the province opened up the application process for the School Playground Equipment Grant Program to help create accessible playgrounds for everyone. Damien Smith has more.
For nearly 10 years, the Catholic School Community Council at École St. Angel and Marici has been fundraising to build a new playground for its youngest students.
It's a structure that was constructed when the school first opened here. The structure itself is it's aged out. There's not a lot of activity or interaction with the structure at this point. So for us, we want to have a structure that is really engaging for the students.
Now the provincial government is throwing a lifeline to schools in similar situations, with applicants now open for the new School Playground Equipment Grant. Eligible projects can apply to receive up to $50,000 in matching funds to build, add, or to replace new structures.
It's not only your physical and mental well-being. You know, it's learning to be part of the community. It's learning to, you know, establishing friendships. It teaches them so much. So it's extremely important that all children have that opportunity.
Over the next 4 years, the province will be investing $3.75 million a year to enrich outdoor play spaces in Saskatchewan and make them more accessible for everyone.
It's very exciting for us to be able to engage with the government, and $50,000 in terms of a replacement for a structure like this is a significant portion of the overall capital that's required to do those types of work. So we're extremely excited about it. The program seems to be a perfect fit for us and what we're trying to do here. So
applications will be open until February of next year on a first-come, first-served basis. Projects must be completed within 1 year of the approval date. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
150 years ago today, Chief Piapot signed onto Treaty 4 territory. Now the nation he represents is celebrating his legacy. A full day of activities happened on the nation, including a historical overview of how the nation came to be. On the event site, the Piapot name could be found on shirts, hats, flags, and leadership says it's thanks to him that the nation proudly celebrates their cultural ways.
He fought to keep our ceremonial way of life together so that our people from generations ahead of him yet to come would have that. And that's what Chief Piapot didn't want to lose. And that's what he fought for, was because he didn't want our way of life at risk.
A number of Chief Piapot's belongings were on display thanks to a recent repatriation project done by the nation. Well, the library is a place where imagination and ideas can come to life, which is true for one Regina man who decided that he wanted to make a change in the community. Samuel Epiphany was visiting the Regina Public Library to find books for his kids when he began brainstorming topics that could help to have a positive impact on his North Central community. With a background in web design, he created the Hakana website to fight back some of the loneliness and isolation he was seeing by connecting people with opportunities to volunteer and meet new people.
Aware about. So our approach to this issue is to actually connect people with volunteer programs, because volunteer programs are one of the best ways for someone that's dealing with isolation and that is not really comfortable getting to meet new people, to be around people in a really relaxed, low-pressure kind of environment.
The website lists volunteer opportunities based on your address and is currently available for any Regina resident.
Greetings, everyone. Virtual reality technology is going above and beyond gaming and entertainment. It is now being implemented in areas like education, health services, and mental health. We recently spoke with a researcher from Saskatchewan Polytechnic who's looking to address the mental health of youth in northern communities with virtual reality technology. A team of Saskatchewan researchers are set to begin a new VR initiative with the goal of helping Indigenous youth living in remote northern communities.
One of the questions was, do you feel VR technology could play a role in enhancing your wellness? And 98% of our respondents said that they would be willing to engage in that or give it a try. So just a way to really connect with youth, connect them with one another, overcome some of those geographical barriers.
The Virtual Interventions and Community Connections for Indigenous Youth program, Vicky for short, began in 2021 through Saskatchewan Polytechnic. Starting out with a clinical care approach, the initiative has grown and adapted through consultations with youth on their needs and wants. The research lead on the project says the youth are interested in connecting with others using the latest technology.
What really intrigues the youth is exploring different ways to connect and meet others or learn from role models. And so there's a lot of ways to enhance mental health and well-being, and it's really having the youth lead that.
Joey Genero is a youth advocate who has been working with Vicky. Along with helping the virtual program, he's traveled to many northern communities across Canada, seeing and hearing firsthand the issues youth are facing. He sees the potential of the VR program to reach youth in a new way.
To inspire them to make different changes in their lives. And a lot of kids are very good on computers already as it is. And, I think this virtual stuff is going to be an amazing thing to connect with these kids in the north, that really need the help.
The Vicky program is currently in phase 2, which begins this fall, with 6 northern communities taking part during the school year. Conversations with youth was a major component of the program's creation, and Beckler hopes this is a commonly used step in the future.
In any of the initiatives moving forward, or when we're trying to support this next generation that's going to lead our province, I think it's so imperative that we really start listening.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Still ahead, the Prime Minister is expected to announce a plan to tackle the housing crisis, and Israel fires missiles at the capital of Qatar, targeting Hamas officials. Prime Minister Mark Carney is teasing an announcement on housing in the next few days. It will come after new numbers show housing starts are at their lowest level in 30 years in Toronto. Michael Couture walks us through the numbers.
The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says slowdowns in Vancouver and Toronto weighed on the overall number of housing starts, and there is a concern it could affect housing supply in the future.
Home building in Toronto fell to its lowest level on a per capita basis since 1996. According to a report from Canada's National Housing Agency, Vancouver also saw a drop in housing starts compared to the first half of last year.
There's this slowdown in activity that will potentially recreate kind of those issues in terms of pressures on prices, pressures on rents.
The CMHC says pre-construction sales are slumping by double digits in Toronto, which is forcing developers to delay project launches in a city that is in desperate need of new homes.
The cost of construction has gone up drastically, and the number of people that are out there looking to buy has gone down again drastically as well.
A near record pace of apartment construction in Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, and Halifax helped offset the sluggish numbers in Vancouver and Toronto. Developers believe cities could see even more growth without municipal development charges, which help pay for roads and sewers.
We need to be able to reduce that for, even if it means just completely eliminating it for a good period of time so that our industry can pick up.
Red tape is another complaint, which Conservative leader Piapot would reduce with a suite of measures.
Get rid of the sales tax, cut the development charges in half, speed up the permits,
zero tax on reinvested gains.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Housing Minister Gregor Robertson said the government is going to build homes at a pace and scale not seen in generations, pointing to a yet-to-be-announced program called Build Canada Homes. However, there are still no details on the measures the Liberals intend to implement. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The fate of the 5 hockey players at the center of the high-profile World Junior Sex Assault trial will be decided soon in the NHL, according to NHL officials. Michael McLeod, Carter Hart, Alex Fermenton, Dylan Dubé, and Cal Foote were acquitted back in July, 7 years after an encounter with the complainant known as EM. Now, the NHL said that they would still be ineligible to play in the league until officials reviewed the findings. The association says the men should be allowed to return to work because they were found not guilty. Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly says the NHL takes the matter very seriously, and that's why it is still under review. Canada is urging those visiting Nepal to be extra careful as anti-corruption protests that began last week have intensified. The protests, triggered by a social media ban, have led to the resignation of the country's prime minister, resulting in the death of at least 19 people yesterday. Canadian officials are advising those in the country to avoid demonstrations, government buildings, and to expect heavy security measures. Protests erupted in Kathmandu again today as anti-corruption demonstrators defied an indefinite curfew and clashed with police. Kathmandu's airport, the landlocked country's main international gateway, has been closed because of the protests. Massive explosions rock Qatar, with Israel calling it an assault against the senior leadership of Hamas, who use Doha as their headquarters. It is an unprecedented attack, but not the first time Israel has gone after the masterminds behind the October 7th massacre. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has more.
Smoke paints the sky black on a dark day in Doha.
It certainly is an escalation of this war.
The deadly daylight air assault is believed to be Israel's first ever inside Qatar. This Hamas residence, now left with a gaping crater in the capital, is said to have been the target, just as the latest ceasefire proposal was being considered. Hamas says that 5 of its members were assassinated in the attack, including the son of exiled chief Halil al-Hayya. Though al-Hayya, seen here, who is believed to be the prime target, has survived, according to Hamas.
These are the same terrorists who planned, terrorist chiefs who planned, launched, and celebrated the horrific massacres of October 7th.
As Israel's prime minister took responsibility, the attack is sending shockwaves across the international community.
I condemn this flagrant violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Qatar.
Britain's prime minister saying the priority must be an immediate ceasefire, the release of hostages, and a huge surge in aid into Gaza. In Israel, the families of hostages believe today's airstrikes may have sealed the fate of their loved ones.
Crushes the hopes of all the families. It's just, it's devastating.
There were several days ago warnings from the Israeli Defense Forces Chief of Staff that Israel was going to start targeting Hamas's leaders no matter where in the world they might be.
Israel's air assault in Doha comes after Hamas's armed wing claimed responsibility for shooting and killing 6 people on Monday at this bus stop in the outskirts of Jerusalem. The latest escalation comes as Israel issued an evacuation order today for residents in Gaza City, with the IDF sharing its intentions for a full-scale operation. The military maneuver reportedly involved 15 Israeli fighter jets firing 10 separate airstrikes on one single target. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
At least 24 people are dead after a Russian bomb struck an eastern Ukraine village. The bomb hit as people were standing in line to collect their monthly pension. It happened in Urova, less than 10 kilometers from the front line. A local official says 23 of the dead were pensioners. At least 19 other people were injured. The Russian attack is only the latest to kill civilians. The UN says more than 12,000 Ukrainian civilians have been killed in a 3-year war. More than 100,000 people have been evacuated from a city in central Pakistan as floods submerge communities. More than 122,000 people have been moved to safety in the last day. Many have chosen to stay with relatives, while others chose relief camps. Some survivors told media that many people are still stranded on rooftops and in trees amid sweltering conditions. The government has deployed hundreds of boats and thousands of rescuers to evacuate hard-hit districts. Coming up, a unique way for students to get to school in Edmonton.
Watch the Amazing Race Canada tonight at 9 on CTV Saskatchewan. Then join us first thing in the morning when we talk to the latest eliminated team about their experience.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live. Weekdays 6 to 9.
Welcome back. Another above seasonal day in the Queen City. Saw temperatures climbing up to about 27 degrees, currently sitting at 26 with the very calm winds and bugs. The bugs are... Okay, let's just switch right now. We're going to move on to the radar satellite. We didn't have a lot going on for active weather apart from a bunch of bugs flying around enjoying the same weather that we've all been enjoying today. Still have that air quality statement in the north, but much of the province seeing very calm conditions, very clear conditions. That'll continue tonight into tomorrow, for most of tomorrow, before we start to see a little bit more activity in the form of rain arrive. So again, as you can see, clear conditions up until tomorrow morning. We do have some rain in the north, and then in the southwest you can start to see a little bit of that cloud cover rolling in. Slight chance of some scattered showers, but it's really not until Wednesday night, late night into the early morning hours, and that's where we'll start to see that band of storm cells coming through, mostly in the southeast, but reaching into areas around the Saskatoon and even in the just south of the Lloydminster area there. So possibility of some storm activity overnight, Wednesday into Thursday morning. And as that system starts to clear out, to start your day Thursday, for the most part, much of southern Saskatchewan looking at clear conditions. And then later Thursday night, we will see more storm activity returning. And again, staying in the south central, southeastern parts of the province. Regina, again, late night Thursday into Friday morning, seeing most of that rain along with the southeast there. You can see Estevan, Assiniboia will also see a brunt of this rainfall as well. And it's just going to basically stay in that area as we head into Friday morning. So in terms of what we can expect for rainfall totals, this rain, again, not until we get into Thursday evening, but by Friday afternoon, Assiniboia could see 30 millimeters of rain, close to 20 for Regina, over 25 for Estevan, about 5 or 6 millimeters for Moose Jaw, 13 for Weyburn, and even up into Saskatoon seeing up to about 5 millimeters of rain, and Prince Albert close to 15. So most of that rain, as you can see, basically just mirroring the tracker that we just looked at, most of it staying in the southeast. Again, that is by Thursday night into Friday morning, and I'll show you on the 7-day forecast, we can expect to see more of that rain continuing into the weekend. In terms of tonight into tomorrow, temperature-wise, still seeing temperatures above the average, 20 degrees, what we're normally seeing for this time of year. Areas nearing the 30 degree mark. 29 tomorrow, mainly sunny for Saskatoon, 28 for North Battleford and for Yorkton, and even tonight the lows are still sitting in the double digits for many areas. Moose Jaw 8 degrees, but again the average is about 6 or 7 degrees, so we're still seeing above seasonal temperatures tonight. Moose Jaw expecting to get to 31 tomorrow, mainly sunny, 28 for Swift Current, 26 for Maple Creek, 30 for Weyburn tomorrow, 31 for Estevan, 29 for Assiniboia and Regina. 13 tonight, warming up to 28 tomorrow, mainly sunny, winds up to 35 kilometers an hour. And this is what our 7-day forecast is looking like. We have rain on the way, as we saw on the tracker, but again, 28 tomorrow, mainly sunny, Thursday 26 with a mix of sun and cloud. Expecting to see, again, the rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then the rain returning Thursday night into Friday. Most of your morning, expect to see some active weather in the form of rain. Isolated, low risk of some isolated thunderstorms on Friday as well, but you're also going to start to see the temperatures cooling down into about the seasonal range. So 23 on Friday. Saturday, I know it's game day at Mosaic Stadium. Kickoff is at 5. Again, this rain is expected to be in the morning, clearing into the evening. So we could see some storm activity in the afternoon, and then the rain returning overnight Saturday into Sunday, where we see this rain continuing. Temperatures, though, back into that seasonal range, 20 on Sunday, 21 on Monday, and then warming back up on Tuesday today. A little bit more cloud cover to start your work week next week, but the temperature is back within that seasonal range. So the next few days, or at least the beginning of this week, we saw well above seasonal temperatures. That'll continue tomorrow, but then the rain is arriving.
The rain is arriving, unfortunately, for the weekend.
Yeah. Cooling things down, but again, still in seasonal range. Not cooler than what we were seeing last week.
Yeah.
You don't like it.
Don't like the rain. All right, thanks to me. For a lot of students in Saskatchewan, their day starts with a ride on the school bus. Well, in Edmonton, there's also another way to get the group together with a little pedal power. Sask has more.
Today's bus ride looked a little different.
I liked how we all biked to school without having to walk. It was just so much faster.
Bike bus is a jump start to their school day.
We ride along a pre-planned route. We've got scheduled ups and people join in along the way to have a ton of fun on their way to school.
Led by safety.
Yeah, it was safe. I mean, it's all side roads. Yeah, it was.
We practice our turning signal hand. If you can let go of the handlebar.
And parent volunteer Kellen Westman says the benefits are endless and the kids love it.
It's a healthy start to the day. There's a lot of research to suggest engagement at school is a lot better when you've had a start.
I do. You make me sore.
Something I found out for myself when I joined in on the ride. Bike Bus Edmonton picks up and drops off kids to and from Rutherford Elementary School once a week.
Not every day right now, but my vision is that it is every day. This should be the normal way that everybody gets to school all the time.
And while setbacks sometimes happen, a valuable lesson is taught.
We celebrated that crash. It said he got back up. We gave him a big round of applause. Like, great crash, buddy. You got back up. Let's go. Let's get to school.
After the ride, snacks and stickers are handed out to top off the morning. Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was fun.
Sasha Pietramala, CTV News, Edmonton.
Still ahead, struggling this season, Riders kicker Brett Lothar played a big role in the Riders' first Labor Day rematch victory in 7 years.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Well, if I told you in May the Riders would have a 10-2 record through 2/3 of the season, a lot of you probably would have thought I was dreaming. Well, today, it's reality. There hasn't been a lot to complain about in Saskatchewan except for the inconsistent kicking of Brett Lothar. But as Jacob Carr explains, Lothar was actually a big reason for the Riders' victory in Winnipeg.
In a game where the Riders' offense struggled to put up points, Brett Lothar came up big for the Riders in the Banjo Bowl. Despite heading into the game with only a 66% field goal conversion rate on the year, Lothar went a perfect 5 for 5 for 15 of Saskatchewan's 21 points. Lothar says he will take a win in any form or fashion.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be business. Like, if we didn't get a field goal or went 10 for 10 for me, it's don't take a lot of satisfaction in the personal stuff. So we still just trying to stay in the moment, stay present every day.
Corey Mace and the Riders have stuck with Lothar through his kicking struggles this season, and Mace says he was happy to see Lothar come through in a big spot in a tough environment.
Yeah, no, I thought it was honestly like crucial. I mean, we would have been in tough, you know what I mean, if he didn't nail those. You know, he showed up when we need him, and specifically in the big ones. So, super proud of him.
Lothar and the team are now looking ahead to their next opponent, the Montreal Alouettes, and with a slim 2-game lead in a competitive West Division with only 6 games remaining, the Riders know every one of them is crucial.
Like, if you look at the standings or anything, everyone's always looks like they're winning in the West or right there, but for us, those are things that are out of our control, and all we can control is what we can do on Saturday here, and trying to get better today, trying to get better tomorrow, trying to get another win on Saturday.
The Alouettes come to town on Saturday before the Riders enjoy their final bye week of the season. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Riders' opponent this week, the Alouettes, have taken McLeod Bethel Thompson off the 6-game injured list. MBT has struggled this year, 4 TDs and 5 interceptions in 5 starts, but he's a better option than what the Alouettes have used the last few games. The move probably means as well that the team's #1 pivot, Davis Alexander, is not going to be ready to play this week. up, the SPSA plans to review their management of the wildfire season.
Let's take a look at your rural forecast tomorrow. Same story as many. We're going to see those temperatures close to 30 degrees for some areas. Mostly clear conditions for much of the day before we start to see a little shift as we head into Wednesday night into the overnight for Thursday morning. So temperatures, though, tomorrow, many areas seeing a lot of very warm temperatures, 29 for Melfort and Watrous and Outlook. A little bit more cloud cover in the western parts there, but 27 for Lloydminster and Kindersley, 28 and sunny for Hudson Bay, and 28 mainly sunny for Wynyard. When we get closer to the southern border there, temperature's still the same, but again, with the west, we're going to see a little bit more of that cloud cover rolling in. So Leader, cloudy 26, 29, mostly cloudy for Rosetown. And again, the east there, 29, mainly sunny for Broadview, 28 for Kenora and for Carlisle. If we take a closer look at Herbert, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel, located about 200 kilometers east of Regina. 28 degrees is the daytime high tomorrow with mainly sunny conditions. And fun fact, Herbert was named after Sir Michael Henry Herbert, who had a very distinguished career in the British Foreign Service. So that's a little fun fact about Herbert for you.
The incident happened at around 6 p.m. on June the 8th, 2025. An unknown woman entered a transit bus in the city of Regina and sat across from the victim. After several minutes of the suspect female belittling the victim, calling her names, she stood up and assaulted the victim by striking her in the head several times. The victim said she had never seen the woman before or had any prior interaction. The suspect is described as a woman with long, dark hair. She is approximately 5 foot 6 inches tall and heavy set. She was wearing white shorts, a pink Hello Kitty hoodie, and black Nike slides.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
The province is preparing to assess the wildfire season once it's over, and at least one community has prepared its own review. Jasmine Pelche has more on how Candle Lake is preparing to protect properties even better for next year.
After this summer's operations to keep the massive Shoe wildfire from breaching the community, the resort village of Candle Lake has reviewed its wildfire response in preparation for next year.
We surveyed the public in regards to their feelings on the response of the local community, and we got that input so that we could reflect on that so we could make future plans.
Chief Administrative Officer Brent Lutz said the village spent $200,000 preventing loss of property.
About 88% of our respondents were positive about the community's response to the fire. And one of the things that came out of that survey also was a openness for the village to spend funds towards mitigating potential fire loss in the future.
He shared that the village has already obtained an additional vehicle for the fire department and is considering adding fire breaks in the community. While it's been over a month since Candle Lake faced an immediate threat from the Shoe fire, wildfires continue to burn elsewhere in the province. On Monday, SPSA Vice President Steve Roberts told reporters that almost all fires in the province are contained, but there is still a lot of work to be done, and SPSA fire crews have been extended into late late September. The SPSA will begin an after-action review on fire management strategies used in the last few months.
The questions will be ranging from everything is how do we manage the evacuation process? How do we manage the setting of priorities for responses? At what point do we bring in external resources like from other provinces? So there was questions about the military.
As of Tuesday afternoon, there are 33 wildfires in the province, 2 uncontained. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
The need to change misconceptions about fetal alcohol syndrome disorder was one of the goals at an event in downtown Saskatoon today. Carla Shinkaruk has more.
Shanna Moore's daughter has fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, so reducing the stigma around the disease is crucial to her.
There's a lot of shame and blame associated with FASD, and I will just say that there's lots of reasons why alcohol could be used during pregnancy, and shame and blame don't serve a positive purpose in the world of FASD, and compassion and empathy go a long way.
FASD refers to a range of lifelong effects that are physical, cognitive, behavioral, and social that can occur in those exposed to alcohol before birth. International FASD Awareness Day is held on the 9th day of the 9th month to emphasize the importance of going alcohol-free for the full 9 months of pregnancy.
Impacted by FASD.
Drew Sebastini is attending for his son, who also has FASD, and he's encouraged to see the shift in thinking about the disorder, which affects about 1.5 million people in Canada.
People have opened up. They don't consider it as much as of a disability as maybe it once was, and I think it's really freeing for myself and for him to know that it's not going to limit his future.
This is an encouraging event for organizers, as this is the largest turnout they've had since they started the event in Saskatoon 3 years ago.
It's just really nice to see a large turnout and to see so many people, I think, glad to be here and to support something that I feel like is very important in our community.
FASD has been referred to as a hidden disability because it hasn't been openly talked about in the past. But Moore is hopeful that keeps changing since the number of people affected is so significant.
In Canada, when you combine the rates of autism, Down syndrome, and cerebral palsy, FASD surpasses the rates of those 3 other disabilities combined.
So those involved in this event are ensuring this is one more step in the right direction towards making a change. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Stocks both going up. The TSX by 35 points. The Dow Jones by 196 points. As for the dollar, no movement, 72.17 cents U.S. Commodity front, gold down $9.35. West Texas Intermediate crude up 37 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude was up 68 cents. And gas in Regina can be commonly found right now for $1.43.9 per liter. Coming up after the newscast, a couple Big Bang theories. Point out Amazing Race Canada at 9 o'clock. Down to the last few episodes.
Ooh.
Who's going to win? I don't know. Soccer fans will be one step closer to getting their hands on FIFA World Cup tickets tomorrow.
Is Lee going to be one of them? The first ticket lottery process starts Wednesday and continues until Friday. Potential buyers can go to FIFA's website to register for the draw and will be asked to create an account or log in to their previously existing one. Starting tomorrow, you will be asked to fill out a form that will allow you to enter a lottery system to hopefully secure your seats for the World Cup. FIFA has said that tickets for group stage matches will start at $82. That's not bad.
That'll be the high of the high spots, though.
Oh, well, Canada is hosting 13 matches split between Vancouver and Toronto. You're going to try?
Yeah, got to try. You never know what's going to happen.
Let's all send good vibes to Lee.
Yeah.
You have your account set up?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yep. And a playful duo stole the show at a golf tournament in BC.
Yeah, 2 black bear cubs captured wrestling near the 18th hole at a golf event in the town of Golden. The pair, about 2 years old, believed to have been born near or on the golf course. So it's kind of home. They just want to play around, you know.
I would be too scared to keep playing.
Usually, used to go golfing at a course kind of Panorama Great Wolf. Yeah. There was always a bear on the course.
And you just keep going?
Well, it gives you an alert. You kind of stop. Oh. Yeah, you don't want to go through. Can we play through, bear? No? Anybody got a fish?
Okay, bye.